Good morning. I am working on restoration number 1. My name is Lucas Schaefer, and it is July something. July 12th. Okay. So I decided that I would practice on some old stuff I found. This is a package of Hollow Jam full bleed, basically some cool bangers in here. Got Charles Barkley. You can just kind of see the surface here. Just needs a good cleaning. And the cool thing that I thought about this as sort of the first go is that these edges, and after doing research, these edges still have the hollow foil attached. So if you can see that, let me see. If you can see the foam board or cardstock is still fully intact. It's not chipped away. Let's see if I can get this to zoom in a little bit. Or show it. I'll show the bottom part. So I don't see any major scratches on the surface, which is great. I don't see any chips, and there's this white stuff that's all over it. And that stuff is what I saw when I got up close to it is just a little bit of dirt. So I'm going to confirm that by cleaning it first, but I'm going to attempt these corners. I'm going to use the dragon breath method first, and what looks like something simple to replace. Now I do have another one in here that's very much more pronounced. This Charles Barkley is, I want to say bent, but it looks more like smushed. And I believe I can get that back to normal. And we will see a before and after. The card itself is fantastic. You can see the raised edges, so there's going to be some rolling out. And I'm excited about doing all that because this will be the first time. So I just chose this one. It was the first one. I don't know if it's number 1. No, it's definitely not. Charles Barkley would have been the first one because I put him in upside down. But I also have this one that I really want to wait to work on because this one is beautiful. Orlando Magic Shaq. That's when I was watching it. Gosh, playing basketball as a kid in the 90s. Who didn't have an Orlando Magic Penny Hardaway? So this one, see that right there? So we'll get to this, and this has got a crimp. You can see sort of right along this edge, right there. So I'm going to wait for this puppy. There's a Patrick Ewing in here. I plan on doing the whole set. There's a Dominique Wilkins, if you're an Atlanta fan. D. Brown, Alonzo Mourning. God, Alonzo Mourning. I've got a Michael Jordan. So this is the premium catch of this set. I'm going to get some prices probably as I run through these. But for today, to get started, let's just talk about Clarence Weatherspoon. See, this is exactly why these cards are messed up. They get popped in here, just like this. See that? See what I'm doing? Just push it on in there. Yeah, so that's why that set is... Somebody keeps taking it out and putting it back in there. So this guy seemed to have the simplest work. There is no... You can see the edge there popped up. So I have my clamp ready. I have Mr. Barkley sitting on the side. I've got my cleaning tools. So the first thing we're going to do is these white, what I'm going to call dust particles. I'm going to see about removing those right now. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of this carddoc.com and I'm just going to start cleaning it. See, that one came right up, huh? So let's get a little aware of that. I think I need to get a little bit more Carddoc spray. Don't want to get too wet. It's my first one, so I don't want to get too overzealous with it. But if I make some mistakes, that's why we're doing Mr. Weatherspoon. Let's see, these, all of them are going away. I don't know which one's the best. Doing things like strokes, and I am going to see if I can focus on one area and move across. So I have my cleaning pads. I don't know, so I don't see any areas that need concentrated cleaning, because it's just not that dirty. There's that one little spot right there. I don't know if that is going to come up. The good thing that I thought about when practicing with this card is that there is a I'll just call it a enhancer or some type of hollow enhancer. So I can only really see that part through the glass. I'm going to look over here. Just kind of do a gentle rub. It would seem as though the spot right here, and these little spots right here, are defects, and the rub that I was talking about is a foil conditioner, and that looks like a scratch. Let's see. Nope. Just some chicken grease from breakfast. I didn't eat breakfast yet, but you can see that I seem to be uncovering what I would call our classic hollow foil chips. And they're all over the card, which is unfortunate. And I think the more that I rub on this, the more that I'm creating. So I'm going to just give it one good shot one more time. So that goes away. I'm going to reach over here and go ahead and start with just a little rub. You know, I can feel I'm seeing shadows from the hologram that are kind of throwing me off a little bit. So what I thought was just dust turns out to possibly be some kind of chipping. It does look more shiny. Let's see if I can get this. Don't know if I can tell a difference just yet. Don't see anything here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back a little bit more cleaner, And I'm just going to go over some spots that I didn't think that I got really well. Which was every part other than the hollow side. You can see right there, I feel like I rubbed that a little too much. Also looking at fragments coming from just overall. Because I can feel that it's getting clean because it starts to drag. Let's see. It looks like a part that I would have trouble with, but if you can see what I'm seeing from the top, you see how the hollow right here turns into like what looks like an unclean or stuck spot. So that's good. Let's turn it over and see what we're working with. Okay, so surface area. Try to get that. So I don't see any. I see those raised edges, right? I see the raised edges, very small. Little piece right there. So the edges, a little whitening. Just gonna clean this back real quick. You know, just a fun fact, I am never used as an amateur mycologist on growing mushrooms for several years. I never really used gloves. Okay, I can see that right there. That was pretty obvious. There was a section right here like a thumbprint. And I'm wondering if this, just a little bit of moisture that I'm adding is making it sort of aware that it's or me becoming aware that at least it's soaking up something. Getting in those edges. Because I have a whole set of cards that are like this. And this is something that's been sitting on my desk. And this is what I was going to initially do. You can see these are foam board. So my assumption is that these are the same cards. And this is entirely 100% similar type of cardstock than this. And I thought, well, if I'm going to work on this, let's go big. A big full pattern hollow. That way we can use the conditioner. We can come in and pay attention to the detail, and if I ruin it or if I create more problems with it, then that's fine. I have no goals with this Weatherspoon card, other than to do this first restoration with, and I can see the gleam is a lot more consistent. I do like that. That's cool. And you can kind of feel, I can't feel anything, but through the material, when I'm doing this part, you can't really feel because the bristles are grabbing it. And there is sort of a slight sort of drag. You can see is it going, yeah, so when I did that, I can feel that right around here, it's dragging on something. And it goes away. And it could be just dry card. That's what it is. It's just a dry card. Right there is dry. Because I don't think this card was that dirty. But that's, so I would like to probably have worked on a dirty card just to get a dirty Q-tip, right? A dirty Q-tip would have been a good positive reinforcement for me to understand what dirt is and how it feels. And again, like I said, I don't see any scratches or any apparent wear. These cards have been locked in that box for 30 years. This is a what? Upper Deck, 1993. What is it? 2026? Yeah. So best, I think this card comes back as a 9. Because we're going to try to get rid of this. And I want to just take a shot out. I want to take a picture of it. So I'm going to zoom in for a second here, okay? This whiting in this corner. The whiting in this corner. It looks like everything's intact. So I'm going to try to see if I can go in a little further. So when I say intact, oh gosh. It just jumps to 10 real quick. So when I say intact, what I've seen most of the restoration people say or do is that there tends to be a problem when this is chipped because you can't pull those fibers back down. Whereas, you see a corner like this. See if I can get this to zoom in and show you guys. Like a corner like this, where the fabric's all still there, supposedly, and this isn't a traditional card either, so this is a hollow, so this is plastic. So I'm going to go ahead and get the method going on here. So we've got 4 corners. I'm going to do a sort of a variation of what I've seen others do, and so this is the Dragon Breath method. The key thing here is that I've got this straw and Dragon Breath, and so I blow into the straw, and it definitely will create a moisture. Okay, so I don't know how much to apply, but I'm going to grab another card sleeve. And we'll start winding this thing down. We'll see how far we can get. So we have our corner. Now what I've seen happen is the card gets wet, right? So we're told to start out with the smallest tool. So I'm just going to fool around with this for a minute. So what I have here is a little tiny ball tool. It's got some things in here, so I'm just going to play with this. Not quite sure how much. It doesn't appear to disappear on the screen. But in the eye line, and what I see, just what I see, I can tell that and that might be just optics or my, because this doesn't lie and it doesn't look like it's doing anything, does it? So let's move up. So I didn't put hardly any pressure on that. So just want to just a little pressure. I've been told to sort of always move towards the out to relay down those fibers. You can see the little bit of water that's picking up on here, so that's a good sign that I did get it wet. Now, one thing I always see them doing a lot of is rolling. So I'm going to start rolling this card here. And my goal is to push those fibers and extend them across. And again, to the camera, I think because of the angle, I can still see a little bit of, let's see if I can change the angle. Yeah, it's becoming less of an eyesore. That's probably the only benefit here. And I can tell that if I look at it from above, that the corner is getting nice and it's getting pushed down. So there is some compaction. So I get a better angle of this. So you can kind of see it's working there. Don't know if that's chipped, because that would be the first sign that this card is a little bit beyond my repair at this stage. But we'll do some before and afters. You can see that lifted edge too. You can, okay, so here's untouched, and what I'm looking at is the upper edge here. So I can put my finger on this. You can see right here in the light. Let me get the light back. There we go. So now focus. What I saw was that you could tell that it had been worked on. So there's the edge, 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 and then flat. You can see flat. Edge, edge. See it? It's right there, and then it breaks, and then it's flat. Okay? So when on the edge, so that's good. Now I really want to get that as best I can. So I'm going to go back to this part here. I'll just go ahead and I think what we're going to do here, let's just get a little bit further. Let me try this side. So I'm going to go to the small one. Don't see any small things to focus on here. So, you know, just a little. Oh, sorry guys. I have forgotten you already. So what I'm doing is I am just kind of playing with it. I don't want to look at it between each stage here. I just re-wet it. I don't know if these didn't see that. But I don't see anything worthy of a tool like this. So when I think about this and what I've seen these edges being used for are certainly dents and sort of kneading in and kneading out of the creases and pockets. So since this doesn't have any of that, I'm going to focus just on edges, and I guess that's a good call. We pre-cleaned the card. This edge is starting to look better, and I don't know if it looked bad, but let's just give this whole corner a roll. I'm kind of going in and out there. I just want to get some. So I don't want to focus too much on the success of this card more than just getting some muscle memory. If I remember correctly, when I was, and look from this point of view, the corner looks fantastic. I mean, okay, I don't know why it jumps to 10 so fast. So you can see, and this wasn't the worst corner either, by the way. Yeah, boy, it just jumps. I need to get some better light in here. Make a note, better light, please. So we got wait a minute. Let's see. Yeah, it's still, you can still see. So that's what I like to see. So progress, but there's still like that edge. All right, so the denouement, the end result is to have, I don't know how much pressure to apply. I just put some medium pressure on that, and I'm not sure that was the best move. It just looks a little bit like, if I could just get to the card. So I'm gonna do something crazy here, so I can see. Oh, so it went backwards. So it literally went backwards. So let's see. So you can see that it's pushing me off to the side. It does not like that at all. So I heard the guy's doing it for 15-20 minutes. And I do like that idea of just kind of taking my time, you know? The whole thing where we're just kind of, it's okay, card. I feel like that's doing it disservice to it too, you know? I feel like I'm putting too much pressure on myself, and I should be able to start to register some real, sorry guys. So what I've been doing is just basically going up and down the edge. I can actually see in the card and from above the you can kind of see it too if you get the light right. There is some lifting just around this edge. So I'm going to put some moderate pressure. I can feel some movement. I'm trying to go to this edge. I'm going to flip it and just kind of do one more dragon's breath here. Let's see. Again, this card is not considerably damaged, but I am excited to see if I can take this side corner crease out. Now, if you remember, if you saw it, it was less than 1 millimeter of curvature on the side. Where we saw one of the other cards had a lot, like an entire crease. So let's go ahead and take a look and see if we can't see this side together from this corner up. So the lift has been managed. It is now from a whitening standpoint to now a corner that has some good lines, and I can still see a little bit of misshape, but that side looks really good. And I didn't spend a lot of time on the top half because I figured I'd get to it with, let's see, still looks really good. Okay, let's look at the back. Overall, so far, impressed. You can still see that light catching that. You see that? So that's got to go. All right, so let's get on that. So the back still has that impressive light show. And you know, that's one thing about, so I have these sort of prefabricated acrylic, my guys. I don't know if I'm going to take that off. So use this side and they're already, and I know this is like probably part of the part you take off, but it's got such a consistency with the parchment. So I figured before I start to take any protectant, obviously the sleeves off, I was going to go with. I'm going to put them in a sleeve anyway. So does it matter? This is kind of a sticky resin top, and I know that these are stickers. So don't blame me. But that's the real kind of come together moment. Is this is sort of the work on some of the big stuff, and then that is my sort of 72-hour sit and wait moment. So, but until then, and I wonder how important it is to go side to side on these, because honestly I can still see it. There is a very strong presence of that highlight, that lift. So let's just focus on one part and see if we can. So I'm going to push a little harder here. And this one's the flatter one, so let's go with this. And I'm going right across that seam. Right across with some moderate pressure. Staying away from the top. Let's see if we still have that lift. Oh, look at that. You still see it. How big is that lift? That light breaks. Oh. Yeah, so the card, so that white light should cover right across. You see it's catching those edges. Let's see how that front looks. Much better. It's a little diffused, but I would expect it to be a little bit. You can kind of see some rays right here. That corner looks good. So the front and the back. Well, let's get a little aggressive with this is going on for 30 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some. So I've seen them when they start to go, okay, the Dragon's Breath is good for moderate stuff. Now I'm going to get this tip wet. And I'm going to go strong in here. I want to get this. Don't want to get to the point where I'm stripping it off. But I want to see some wet in there. So we'll get this side really wet, which is the top half. So remember that, the top half really wet. And because of the front, I'm going to go ahead and get this a little wet too. So it's probably going to run. We're going to get rid of that little, you can see it. I can see it very clearly from here. It's reflecting the light, but there's a edge that needs to come up. So I'm blowing slow, and what I really want to see now, I might just switch these out because this one's getting a little. Yeah, you can see the moisture on that. That's great, good. So let's do a little check first. So we've got the light refraction. You see it pulling it hard off to the top. I'm probably being a little more picky than I should be. Should need to be, but my guess is the people who would see this card after me, they're gonna see that. So I got plenty of these penny sleeves, so we don't need to reuse old ones. So here we go. So I'm gonna just give this a good, let's do back and forth on the top and out and back out. Let's see, go down here. Do this one straight towards the bottom. I can see that bottom sort of flattening out. I mean, that's the first part we worked on. I'm not sure if I can get that any better. But let's see about this one. So we're going to do that. I can see the moisture getting squished out. So let's leave this. Now we got some leveling to do. And I wonder if it's pressure times quantity, right? So is it the downstroke? Is it the up? Is it the out? I guess it's the out. It's just remarkable. Okay, so now I got this card. I'm going to test it for those lines again. Yep, they're still there. Gosh, wish I knew what to do here. My gut says, right? My gut says, well, you got to push harder, or you got to get it wetter, or something's not right. So let's. Okay, so I'm gonna just kind of crush that. I feel like I'm crushing it. All right, so half of this, we'll just crush it. Because you got to make mistakes. So we did half of this, sort of that crush and push technique. Watch it work. So, okay, so see, I'm grading it on this. So this amount of refracted light. So like we got, it's probably about the same amount of length of the actual light. So so I didn't touch this. And as we go, we should see either it diffused or lightened. And it's just not going. So I can see where I'm denting the card. It's very hard to see, but you can see that the rolling and pressure point right about there, very tight. Like the rest of the card is so straight. But right where I was rolling at, there is some misshapeness. And I'm hoping, what I'm really hoping for is that the final thing, which is the seal. Yeah, I fixed it. Okay, so let's just focus on the corners. Because this one, let's see this one down at the bottom. Get that. And then we'll get this one at the top. No. Okay, cool. All right, so for me, this blue side, I wish that there was something I could do about that. I mean, I best this card. That little lip. Ugh. What I'm hoping is that we get this card in the press. And somebody put in the comments, that definitely is a cover for but I'm going to use it because when I do my first press, I'm actually going to press between two sleeves. I've seen people do it different ways. They use plastic wax paper, they use parchment paper, they use different things. And that's something we can look at. So, the blue side, now to the red side. And I hope that these cards only take 15 minutes from this point on. But I'm still not impressed with my technique on just laying this edge down. You can see it's bent up enough to reflect light to me. So is it bent down or up? It's interesting. I would say it's bent up because of the shared light from here, from this point, is coming down to here and reflecting back up. So it's skimming off the top and then reflecting back up on the lip. Okay. All right. So, no. See if I can get it a little bit more here. So I'm gonna go a little aggressive on this one this time. Ooh, see, I'm leaving little things on it. So I'm going a little more aggressive. Oh, I can see a dent. It's definitely laying down. See if I can get that light to hit. Where you at, light? So, ooh, it looks so uneven, but it's down. Okay, let's see what we're doing now. Ooh. So the corner. So I'm looking at the card, trying to give you guys a good sign here. But even that aggression wasn't enough. And it feels like I'm opening up the card at the bottom, which is tough to realize. But this edge is just not budging. So in the effort of, okay. So let's go the other way now. See, it's kind of meeting it. Okay. At this point, I have no idea what I'm doing. So, we're just going to go all out. I am concerned that the method of getting this corner down and how far gone, because I can see, okay, what can I see here? Let's see. Definitely up a little. You can obviously see, but it does look more cohesive. So gosh, how do you get rid of that? Like, it's all the way up. And I thought I would have told you that I did pretty good. So maybe let's add some more water. Too much? We'll find out. You know, I always listen for what they say on the time, and they say stuff like 15 minutes of rolling it and just rolling it and rolling it. And maybe that's the trick. Maybe I am rushing it. 45 minutes in, though, I don't know. I feel like this 35-year-old card should be a lot more amenable. Sort of a And you know, the other thing too is I don't think this is traditional cardstock. You know, I got this here. You know, these seem to be I probably chose the wrong card to start with. You know, this card is no damage whatsoever, but I can definitely tell that I'm working with a plastic, and the foam is probably more critical. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop trying to do that and let the press part do the work. So let's focus on this corner. I can definitely see this corner is still raised. I'll show you a little better here. You can, even if it's not zoomed in, there we go. That's perfect. You can see that. So let's get that puppy done. So the real trick, I think, I like that extra wet. Let's get in there. The real trick here is I am working on cardstock that is laminate print on foam stock, and that is causing me to see some false false negatives where the press really comes into play here. So I can still see that is a problem. I don't want to do it so hard that I tear it. Back it up a little. I feel like at certain points you create these little divots. Yeah, see, so let's back it out of that. Alright. So I can see it's gone. Ooh. Yeah, it's gone, but that freaking edge, you see it on the black right there, the white on the black top right here? That stuff's killer. So that looks actually pretty good. I'm actually impressed with that. Whatever was left for the whiting there, the patches. I'll turn the light on here, see if that helps. So I may have broken it. I can see that little white line in there. So aggression, probably frustration. It is, however, not raised, and I can see that I can see where it was. I can see where it was. So it's still there if I can see where it was. But I got it too wet, and I think I broke it. So remember that. These cards are probably just pressable. So that's going to be my conclusion for that corner right now. So I got the mushy mush part. Oh, Yeah, okay, let's do this side too. So now that I got that other side already pressed out, this is actually straight forward. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll it. It's funny, as I roll it, I can see that when it becomes flat again, the white edging starts to match up. And I would never cut on these cards, but there's like a feeling that if I had like a sander, I would just take the edge and just go zzz, just kind of popping at it. You can see that looks pretty good. I'm not upset. Again, this card didn't have a lot of problems to fix. There are definitely some other ones. So I'm going to go ahead and just roll this out. I'm getting a little impatient because this is already almost going on an hour. And I feel like I did a pretty decent job with it. There's just one down at the bottom. Let's do that one too over here. So this is kind of bent out now. You see? You can kind of see. It's good, but it's almost as if once you apply, because you can see it bent up there. So once you apply something to one side, you kind of got to go level it out on the other. The good news is I don't see apparent where's that white light come from? So I don't see like indentions except right there. You can tell. But overall, I will take it. I'm assuming the press will do it. That whiting on the edge, that's just, I'm hoping, probably, okay, so just make some assumptions here. Probably from the fact that this is the type of card it is, that's actually misuse of the card, and as it's chipping, let me look at this Charles Barkley, and I wonder if the comparison to the two, so there's a bent up edge. You can kind of see this one a little better versus this one. There's still like a little sort of, can't see it. It's just the whitening. It looks like it's standing up, but from what I can tell, it's not. It actually looks pretty good in person. So if you look at it in person, you can tell that what's actually happened is that edge is just gone. It's been chipped off and rolled out. And so now, I just want to do one more cleaning. The next one I'll do a polish. This actually looks, see that edge down there now? It's very clean, but that card is just missing. Yeah, it's still a little raised. I'm going to try to see if the press didn't get it out, the clamping. There is some chipping in here. Oh, that's the light that it was on. So you can see some chipping and degradation. The top of the line looks good. Overall, this looks great. All right, so next step. Like I said, I'm going to put 2 fresh penny sleeves. We're going to use the little sticker that they come with to keep them fresh and clean. And it'll be nice to see the card. Maybe that's something that we do next. You know what? No, let's see. We're going to take this off. stinking gloves. Like I said, I never had to wear gloves when I was doing amateur mycology, and I had to stay pretty freaking clean. But I learned the difference between sterilization, pasteurization. Oh, this thing's not coming off like I thought it would. Yeah, there it is. So, I'm just taking this off real quick. Yeah, I knew that that was supposed to come off. I was gonna do that, but my guess is there's some sticky resin in here. I'm gonna try to clean the plate a little bit too. Just seems like this would be a good idea. And I want to see the card. Okay, so what I don't want to do is mess with this so long. Okay, finally got the wrappers off. That was a little bit of a... So I'm just going to clean this. I'm probably doing this ass backwards, but I know and understand and respect clean workspaces, clean homes, clean bathrooms. Clean your bathrooms. That's horrible. Showing up at your house and I'm trying to get a number 2 done, and I look at your toilet and everything in there, and I notice that it hasn't been cleaned in some time. That's a shame. So a lot of that stuff's underneath there. That's good. So I'm gonna take a brand new dude. This brand fresh, clean card, restored from what I would give it about an 85% bad to now it's like about a 92. I still consider the edge going around as part of the problem. And for me, the whole practice here is trying to get that edge all the way down. Ooh, that thing definitely is in there. I'm not sure which way to put these on. So we're just going with the best I can do. I'm gonna fix them obviously, but they're sort of, it's not on exactly straight, but I wanted to make sure I kept my card aligned. So I'm really gonna kind of get in there and so I can back up and do this. I really want to get over the card like that. Look in there. I can see it flattening out and getting into the card. So that is my first one. Mr. Witherspoon. So takeaways. Bad first card to practice on, as I looked at a Pokemon, or what I hope to be doing here soon is a whole series of these. Polishing the hollow, and these are honestly, again, these are already 9s. If the centering was a little better, I'd say these would be fit to go, like as is. But I have a couple of these that just have a couple of fiber just aren't absolutely perfect. This one looks, unfortunately I pulled the one that doesn't have any issues. And the name of the game is to get these, and that's centering, you know, if you talk about centering on a card, all of my Topps Gold are a little to the left, a little heavy on the left. You can see it. A little heavy on the left. The backs, perfect. They're a little fat on the bottom. Let's see that now. Again, they match up perfectly. So I got that one press from that one print that had the exact same outcomes for the cards. You can kind of see, yeah, that's still so close for 10. And I think I got some in here that are just fanatical. Something coming up in the future is I do have this perfectly centered Chipper Jones that I'm just going to clean and look at, because there's a little tiny, I hate that this thing, I'm going to have to get a better camera, so I'm going to take that off. So, can't see it. Me taking the card out. Golly. If anybody's going to be able to take a card out, it should be me. So, let's get that light back on it. So there is just a very hot, short raise right there. You should be able to see it here. I know, right? You're probably like, dude, that is not. But in my head, I'm going, I want 10s, baby. I want to take these cards and give them a proper place and keep them. I love these cards. These are going to be sentimental to me, and I'm going to continue with my next one. So thank you for watching, and let's have a great day. Bye.